Okay, so we're back, and this will be part 2 of the build process of the Techone MXS EPP plane. What we're going to do this time is we're going to install the bottom half of the main fuselage to the bottom of the plane. The bottom of the plane is the one that actually has the orange, green, and gray stripes on it. So this will be the bottom. We're going to install the bottom half, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put in these little foam side braces that actually make the frame very rigid. So once again, we're going to use the foam-tac glue here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on the bottom piece, and then we're going to press it into place and just make sure it's all lined up and straight. So let's do that. Just put an ample amount of glue on here, so when you press it into place, it makes a good bond. Just like that. What I like to do too is, because the pins here are going to go into the foam, put a little bit of glue on the sides of the pins, just a very light coat. This will give you a little bit more strength when you're putting it into the holes in the EPP here. And we'll do the same over here on this side. Doesn't take very much glue, just a little coating of the pins. That way when you slide it into the EPP, it gives you a good bond to work with here. Cool, okay. And then we're going to start from the front edge here, just to make sure it's straight. And then just work it back slowly. Press it down a couple times just to make sure you have a good bond. There we go. There we go. What's nice about the Techone kits, these are all nicely laser cut, and they're very precise. So as I was saying before in the first video, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. All you really have to do is make sure everything is nice and tight and straight. And if you want to check your edges, you can even use this like roll of tape just to make sure everything is straight. Straight up and down, just make sure it's straight. Everything looks good here. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to check down here on the seams here just to make sure you have a good bond and it's tight. That looks good. Okay, and as I said before, just to check to make sure it's straight here. It's straight. It's nice and straight. Actually, it looks really good. That's good. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install these side braces. And these side braces just give the frame a little rigidity. And what they're going to do is they're going to be glued on to the sides here. And they're going to go from the tip here where the wing spar is back to the trailing edge where the elevator is back here. So I can show you here. The wing spar, per their instructions, ends right here where the elevator will move. Okay, so I'm laying this in here. I put a bead of glue on the you can see on this one, I hope you can see this, this is beveled on one side, so I put some EPP glue on the beveled side, and then I just laid this in place here, lining up the back edge with the cutout for the elevator, and then the tip here is actually right on the spar. And then since EPP, the foam-tac glue is a contact cement, I'm just pressing it into place to make sure there's glue, ample amount of glue everywhere. And you can even pull it back if you want to, like this. Let the glue dry a little bit and then put it back. And what that'll do is actually that makes the glue dry a little bit faster. Also makes the foam stick foam to foam really well too. It just speeds up the drying process. And then you'll notice I'm on a flat surface here, so this is going to guarantee that when everything is dry, the frame is completely straight too. So okay, so now we're going to turn this around and we're going to repeat the same process for the other side. It doesn't take a lot of foam-tac glue to do this, just enough to coat it, because when you press it together you want to make sure you have enough to make contact with both sides so that you're gluing. And then, as I said before, this is contact cement, so once you press it into place, pull it apart real quick and then just push it back together and it'll dry pretty fast. Oops. There we go. And then just like that. And then, as I said, just what I like to do is just tap it in place like this. Again, making sure everything's nice and flat. And then pull it off like this. Let a little air get in there, and that actually helps the glue dry faster. And then push it back down again. And what that'll do is that'll make the foam-tac glue dry a little bit quicker, because you put a little air in there and the air dries makes the glue dry faster. And again, making sure this is on a completely flat surface, that guarantees that when everything is dry you have a nice straight frame. So that's part 2 of the build. The next process, I believe, is we're going to repeat the process and we're going to glue the top half on. I'll read through the instructions really fast here. Per the instructions, it looks like we're going to be on page 6 now. Oops, actually no. We're going to be doing the landing gear next. So it looks like the top of the frame does not go on until the landing gear is done. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to be building some landing gear, and that'll be mounted to the bottom of the frame, so then we can flip it over. So the next video in the series will be putting the landing gear together and mounting it to the frame. So stay tuned for that video.